Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over the crazy and yet delusional story of the kept wife. Now, this was going on back around the time of like March or April, but I wasn't consistent on YouTube back then. But I definitely remember this on TikTok happening and it was going crazy. It's even on YouTube as well. But basically the woman on the screen, she portrayed like this black luxury kept wife, soft life lifestyle, which is great. I love that for people who truly have that lifestyle. However, she would have colorist remarks. She would come for baby mothers. She would come for like the whole black culture in general, calling people ignorant, calling just making fun of people who don't have the same luxuries of the same lifestyle. She said colorist remarks. It's just all kind of stuff she done said and did. Well, she quickly got reminded on TikTok of her old lifestyle that she ran away from, y'all. And when I say it's crazy, oh, it is crazy, baby. So make sure y'all watch. I will be back towards the end. I also used some clips from YouTube, The Real Talk with Yanni. She had a lot of clips because some of them clips on TikTok I don't see anymore. So without further ado, I hope y'all enjoy.
Right there, that whole white supremacy thing that doesn't exist.
Right. I'll be a white MJ any day. At least I don't look like a dirty burnt ghetto roach. At least I'm not wearing a bonnet in all my content looking crusty. At least I'm not on food stamps in Section 8. At least I'm not bald head. At least I look polished. At least I look like I bathe. At least I don't look like a smoker out on the corner somewhere. And at least I have a great husband and father for my kids, and my son is not going to grow up to be another hoodlum.
Second, as far as a European man goes, been there, done that. I don't know why you hood rats seem to think European men are some type of trophy or savior. Maybe because you're in survival mode and you're trying to get out of the slums that you're in. So you see another race to help you and do what your own father couldn't do. But my father was in my life and he was a great black man. And I wanted a black man who reminded me exactly like my father. You are in survival mode. I'm not. I can get money out of any man. I don't need to run to another race because the men in my own race don't want me. Third, if it was that easy and that achievable, how come you don't have it?
Y'all know what's crazy? Society is so used to single moms, even married single moms, that when I used to tell people that I have toddlers and I'm a stay-at-home wife, the number one thing they used to always say is, "Oh my God, I bet your hands are so full. I bet that's so busy for you." And I didn't want to tell them the truth that I'm spoiled as hell and I have tons of help. Because 9 times out of 10, they'll also say, "Well, I have 3 kids of my own, so I know how difficult it is." And the whole time they're trying to project their situation onto me, I'm thinking in my head, well, dang, you probably should have got knocked up by somebody else. But I have to stand there and smile and nod and pretend I know what it's like to be a mother that just has a difficult life. But I can't relate. I'm spoiled as hell. I do whatever I want to do. Heck, I'm about to head to the spa right now. I don't clean my own house. I've never had restless nights. I've never had to change diapers by myself. I even hired somebody recently to come cook for us on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm just spoiled. I have an easy life. Kids are not. And that's because I made the right decision on who I laid down and got pregnant by. My husband and I planned our kids. And the number one thing I told him before I even got pregnant was I'm not going to be one of those stay-at-home moms that are miserable as hell, stuck in the house with kids. And you know what my husband said? Live your best life, beautiful. Anywhere you want to go or anything you want to do, you can do it. You want to go on spa dates, you want to go hang out with your friends, you want to go shopping, by all means, you are free to do that. That's the beautiful thing about marrying an older, mature, understandable man. He loves how spoiled I am. He don't think that a woman's place is just to look miserable and battered in the house.
Not only is she known for her controversial takes, she's also known for promoting the kept wife lifestyle. And she uses a lot of her content to inspire other women to level up.
Welcome back to A Day in My Life as a Spoiled Kept Wife.
One of the things that me and my husband love to do is date during the day. So every week on Mondays, we usually do spa day. And then some days we go to the casino or we just go grab some drinks and sit by the pool. We also like to go to Tampa Downs and bet on the racehorses. I feel like the most important part of a marriage is making time for each other. So we make sure we do plenty of that.
And I thank God that I'm very fortunate enough to have a man who makes passive income so we can be able to do this. Come spend the day with me and my husband. Today is Tuesday, February 13th, and we just went downtown to do a little bit of shopping. I told him the only flowers I wanted was another Van Cleef. And of course, being the spoiled kept wife that I am, he was like, okay, let's go. At this location, I read a lot about racist employees, but they didn't treat us like that at all. I don't know if it's because I walked in with a lot of Van Cleef on, we're already customers, but they were so sweet and helpful and nice. I just didn't get that vibe at all. So after we left there, my husband was like, I got another surprise for you. He made me keep my eyes closed the whole time. I only figured it out when I heard like the rotor blades, and then I knew it was a helicopter tour. It was really fun and really cool. The last helicopter tour we've been on was in Aruba, and I said I wanted to do it again. So I guess my man took like a little mental note. I love when he does that. But yeah, this was my Tuesday, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Throwback to the first rental property my millionaire husband brought me while we were dating.
So this is the very first investment property that my husband brought me while we were dating. I basically told him if he was serious about a future with me, he needed to prove it and invest into me. And he did just that. He found this condo and won it on auction for $50,000. It didn't need much work, so his guys fixed it up for around $9,000. And then we resold it for $180,000. It is tiny and it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, but it is located in St. Pete and it's near the water in a really nice area. So it sold really fast. And $120,000 profit is great for such a simple remodel. A little paint, a little tile, and a few appliances. This is how you get rich off real estate. Find little hidden gems and make it work. A 6-figure profit just like that. And there are little hidden gems like this all over. Like and follow for more.
Before going viral recently, she has always been supported.
Okay, so this video that is about to play next where she's wearing this is what got a lot of people talking and digging because she spoke on Black people, the hood, etc. And this is where it all goes downhill.
I seen this girl make a post earlier where she was like, I'm not afraid to admit hood people scare me. Now, although that may trigger some people, y'all have to understand some of us are just genuinely traumatized. Now, I didn't grow up in the hood, but I worked in the hood. And when I tell y'all, that was one of the most miserable experiences of my entire life.
Was it?
You could not look at them wrong. They wanted to fight. You could not be quiet. If you were quiet, it's you think you're all that. You think you're better than us. It's so bad. I was washing my hair today, and I got flashbacks of when they used to tease me and try and call me broke because I was not wearing a lace wig.
Oh, really?
Like, they just say the most uneducated, ignorant stuff I've ever heard.
This is the crazy part to me, right? As you're saying all of these things and as you watch on your page, you had to correct your behavior or whatnot so you can appease the white man and toe tap around. Weren't you just arrested a month ago for assault and battery? This is the problem, is that there's a lot of people that may live in the hood but don't do hood activities. It's just that they're in a financial situation that makes them have to stay in the hood, but they make it work. Also, as well, not taking a part of those buffooneries that's going on in the streets. But because you can't contextualize the situation and you don't know the difference, you classify everybody underneath one umbrella. The problem at the end of the day, I think your coworkers had more of an issue of you being class elitism. You felt like as if they were beneath you, and you acted in such a way that walk aligns with the narrative of what 8x5x11s feel like Black people are. And you also as well act and present yourself as a very colorist individual. Let's just leave that as that. Let's just call a spade, because they weren't the problem. You were the problem. Let's just say that. Miss Cap Wife, Miss Cap Wife, Miss Cap Wife, please come to the front of the classroom. Let's talk about this. This is off your page, right? Going to jail don't make you ghetto. I know doctors and lawyers who've been to jail. Ghetto is a personality trait. You have to capitalize trait to emphasize what you meant by that. A lot of you baby mama culture roaches have and can't turn off. Deuces. If anyone else wants to come around me over a TikTok, I got another mugshot, laughing face, and be back out the same day. Okay, let's talk about it. Isn't this you? I know this is you, right? Let's talk about the full compassing of who you are before we get to the meat and potato, okay? You dropped out of college. you got married and got with a guy, or, you know what I'm saying, and had 2 children by him. You abandoned those 2 children, which ended up giving you 2 separate charges of abandonment of your children, to then go to the hood, which you refer to as a strip club, and those were your co-workers, those strippers, right? And they didn't like you because of your own colorist type of elitist behavior. And while you were at the strip club, you met a trick. You got with that trick, got pregnant by that trick. While you were pregnant with that trick's baby, he DV'd you that whole entire pregnancy. You married him and then had a baby by him, right? What I really want to understand is you got multiple mugshots, and that's correct. You were arrested February 17th, which was not that long ago. You know what I'm saying? That was just last month that you got arrested. For you to come on this internet and try to make yourself seem as if you're more superior than other people is wild and outlandish to me, because you're married to a man that has a history of DV on his record, and also as well DV'd you, and you're on the internet begging people to follow you so you could be a part of the creator fund. Like, tell me, where does all this money that you supposed to be have, and how are you a kept wife? Tell me, because nothing on your page says kept, high class, lavish, or living any type of lifestyle that people who are a kept wife would live. It looks like somebody who's desperate for money. That's what it looks like to me. And you doing the hydroponic, growing your own garden type situation in your apartment is wild.
Him being tired, did not want to get up right away, and that ticked me off. I'm intoxicated, so I'm not thinking about how he feels. I'm only thinking about why you won't get up and go fix me something to eat. So yeah, I start this huge argument with him over him not cooking me beef, bacon, and eggs. Yeah, silly, I know, but whatever. Long story short, someone calls the police. I go to jail. He bails me right out, and we're back loved up the same day. A man will never touch me. Let's just make that clear. And in conclusion, none of these situations make me ghetto. Ghetto is a personality trait. You have politicians who go to jail for domestic violence, DUIs, and whatever else. And then they go back to the office and they do their job. And then act like nothing even happened. Problems happen, stuff happens, that's life.
All right, let's talk about it. So, for your neighbors to call the cops, right, and for them to arrest him, 2 things must have happened before. 1, this is not the first time that this has happened. 2, you know what I'm saying, you showed some discernible markage on you to give them reason to lock him up, or he already had a past of DV for them to say, yeah, this is necessary to have you booked. Because especially with Florida and domestic situations, they're very hands-on on it, especially if they're called to a certain place too many times. Okay, you tried to say away that first arrest. Okay, no problem. Okay, cool. So what about when you abandoned your daughters? The ones that could call you birth giver, the ones that don't have a relationship with you, the ones that are in Georgia living with the fathers. What about that one? What about that situation? I'm saying you were a past stripper, right? You who say I'm living the lifestyle, luxury lifestyle of a stay-at-home wife, but you're the one asking your husband to make you food. It's usually the other way around. Your husband can afford to buy you Montclair, but you guys live in a house that's only worth $200,000 when you bought it, and then after fixing up, it's worth $400,000. That doesn't sound like luxury to me. That's all I'm just trying to say. Either live your bars or don't say anything at all. Like, share, and comment. What do you think? Miss Kepwife, please come back to the front of the classroom. We have some more conversations to have. Now, you try to downplay and minimize how you were in a physical altercation with your husband, right? And how you were belligerent, intoxicated, and you wanted this man to quickly move from the bed to make you some type of meal. Because usually housewives are the ones who serve their husband aren't the one that serves them. But nevertheless, why don't you also as well try to clear up the rumor of the fact that you abandoned these 2 girls in Georgia with their military father to be a stripper in Florida, allegedly? You don't want to clear those rumors. You don't want to clear these rumors of you leaving these girls and them being able to be raised by their father without actually having you in their life. They don't even recognize you as their mother at all, right? They refer to you as birth giver. They don't even see you as mom. They see you as birth giver. And you only text them when you're like obligated or you want to seem like as if you're being a good parent by saying, what do you want for Christmas? Not a hi, how you doing? How's school been? How are you being? How's your emotional status? Is there any questions you want to ask me? Is there anything that has been developing that you want to talk to me about? None of those things. Hey, what do you want for Christmas? Buy you things and then keep it pushing because you're a neglectful parent. Let's just leave it as that. Let's clear these rumors up because you try to downplay your DV case with your husband. It didn't work. I would like you to pay attention to the more critical conversation that needs to be had about how you abandon these two little girls to go down to Florida to be a stripper and then get a sugar daddy that is this 50-year-old man who will always remember that you put hands on him and the things that you did towards him. You try to downplay it, but that man is paying attention and has social media and knows what's going on. He's playing dumb so you can act the way you want to, but you're not that smart. Like, share, and comment. Tell me what you think. Miss Capwife, please come to the front of the congregation. We have more questions for you, especially with this latest video that you've decided to post. I'm only posting this because you posted it.
I don't have to post my children to prove that I'm a great mom. You see, I think a lot of you in the Black community are so used to putting on a front on social media. But then when you log off, cursing at your children, you're putting your hands on them. You don't know what gentle parenting is at all. They have no idea what a loving family is. And they're around all different types of men. Not to mention the ones who like to smoke around their children and do all type of things in front of their kids that they shouldn't even see. You see, my kids get Clara Huxtable. They get bedtime stories, matching pajamas, hot cocoa, while yours is working on their 10th stepdaddy. And a lot of your children don't even have fathers and will never see their mom happily married. A lot of you can't even locate your children's fathers. You can't get a ring and you can't even get along with them. My children don't have those problems. They only know me as being a soft life kept wife.
There's a lot of contradictions in this whole entire video that you posted because you said, oh, I don't need a post to show that I'm a good mom. But you just posted your children online to prove that you're a good mom. Also as well, that's an old video. That's an old video. That's not even recent. That's an old video that you took that you found in your iCloud. And you're like, ooh, this will show proof that, you know what I'm saying, I'm a good mom. It's not working. You're not beating the allegations. You're losing. You're losing. All I have to say is this. Just stop speaking so negatively towards women who have children when you are in the exact same boat. You're a baby mother who never got married. That paperwork has not come back. That Carfax keeps still saying that no data can be found about the marriage to that man. So you got 4 children, you abandoned 2, and you're only representing 2 of them because they have the right skin for the complexion that you desire. I hope you heal. I hope you grow. I hope you develop into a better person. Miss Capwife, can you please come in front of the classroom? We have a couple more questions that we would love you to answer, okay? One of those questions is, where's that marriage license? You say you're married to this man, right? Which marriage license are public docs that you can look up by the county, right? Nobody can locate it. At this moment, we just think everything is fraudulent about you. Everything is fraudulent. Because you can't find his marriage license. And then also as well, that DV case that you picked up, you know what I'm saying, on February 17th. Check this out.
Where it says, I received temporary assistance for needy families, cash assistance, and she yes. She's living a lie. If she does receive cash assistance, why is she on this app saying she's a kept wife, living a kept life? And all this it doesn't, the math is not math.
At all.
Okay? So either she's getting on this app and putting on a show for her.
So you just been lying to your followers and the internet about who you are. You present yourself to be a kept wife, a stay-at-home, you know what I'm saying, wife, when realistically you're just a baby mama who has never been married. You're hyper criticizing people for the life that you're living. The same way that you abandon your children. Yeah, Then you want to take a 2-year-old video of when you were spending time with your children and try to post it on the internet to make it seem as if you're a good mom. No. Where are your most recent videos of you spending time with your children? Why are you using a video that is 2 years old that you stole off of your child's TikTok page? Wife. Can you please come in front of the classroom? We still have some pressing conversations to be had with you. Now, we were able to locate the marriage license. Yay! That's the only truth that you've told us. You've been married since 2021, right? But you still haven't changed your last name yet. We don't know why. Most women do wait a little bit longer before changing your last name because that is a headache to do. But in your situation, that man who is a millionaire, he is your man, my man. You would have automatically taken his last name, especially if he's giving you the life of leisure, right? But you haven't. Even in the court decrees, when you needed to get a public defender, even though you're a millionaire, when he pressed charges on you for DV because you threw a phone at him, probably because you caught him cheating, you needed a public defender, and you had to disclose that you only make $2,000 a month, and you're on food stamp as well, or you're getting some type of government assistance. That doesn't sound like a life of leisure to me. Just saying. But also as well, after finding the marriage license, we were able to find, the streets were able to find your husband's LinkedIn and your husband's Facebook. And after perusing through your husband's Facebook profile, what it seems like, and this is what the streets are telling me as well, is that your husband's for everybody. Your husband's for everybody, because your husband purposely cut you out of all of the pictures and make sure that you're not seen in any of the videos that he's with his coworkers, his friends, his, you know what I'm saying, when he goes golfing, all those other things that he does. He makes sure that you are nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be located. That tells me that is a married man who still wants to be available to the streets. That's what I'm hearing. The streets are saying if they wanted your husband, they could have your husband. They don't want your husband. That's what they're saying. You're talking about this man as if he's the proto prince of everything, right? But he's not. He's for everybody. He's for the street. Miss Kept Wife, can you please come in front of the congregation? Because we have a lot of questions to ask you. Me and the pastor would love to understand why you have so much venom, so much vitriol, so much malice against women that had children, because you've done this exact same thing. Just because you marry your trick does not mean it washes that you had a child outside of wedlock. Okay, you guys only got married in 2021, but you had the baby in 2018. Come on. Let's be honest about this, right? The way that you try to bash other women by saying that you live this life of leisure, this life of access and wealth and whatnot, and you talk about your husband being an entrepreneur. Let's be honest about this. Your husband allegedly is a felon who has an extensive criminal record as long as my arm. Let's be honest about this, right? This is why he has no choice but to be an entrepreneur, because you can't get a real job having that extent of a criminal past. Let's just be honest about that. You made the spot so hot where your husband is actually distancing himself away from you. Now, let's check this out.
Come spend the day with me as a spoiled kept wife while I show you one of the things my husband does for a living. So my husband called me and asked me if I could do him a favor. He had to go to a doctor's appointment, so he needed me to go pick up a tool and drop it off.
Your man is a menace to society, one of the worst kinds. He has no choice but to work for himself. He is a full-time felon and has been for decades. Stop trying to put up a front and keep it real with yourself. The life that you enjoy throwing, shade that is your own. Log off TikTok and go heal.
Miss Spoiled Wife, like I asked myself, how could a man accept a woman that abandoned her children to be a stripper in Tampa, allegedly, right? I just had to make sure, how would a man of that much access and leisure and financial stability choose a woman like this? Because it's a facade. Your man is a criminal, allegedly, has an extensive criminal record. There's nothing to be glamorous about that. You're in love with a criminal. Ma'am, I hope you get the help that you need, because I know you think you have the money. You have enough government assistance where you can get a couple visits to the therapist for free, covered by the state. I hope you use them. Have a great, wonderful day. Like, share, and comment. What do you think? Miss Cap Wife, Miss Cap Wife, Miss Cap Wife, can you please come in front of the congregation? Me, the pastor, and the Holy Spirit have some questions for you. You come on the internet to present yourself of a woman of leisure, a woman of status, someone that is living a life of comfort, right? But based off of what we found out about your past, that is not actually you. You have a DV case against you that was charged against you by your husband on February 17th. That is not becoming of a lady, okay? Allegedly. Allegedly, you abandoned your children in Georgia to become a stripper in Tampa, allegedly, right? And this is the reason why you don't have custody of your two girls, and this is why you don't really have any of them on your video, right? But also as well, what I found not too long ago is that you were arrested in Miami. You were arrested in my hometown of Miami-Dade for battery. January 30th, 2015, allegedly you were arrested for battery. We don't know what you did and what happened in that situation, but you were arrested, and Dade County don't play about that battery situation. They will put you away. Then after that, I decided, let me do a little bit more searching, right? This husband of yours that you speak so, highly of, he's a millionaire, he's an entrepreneur, he has multiple businesses. Realistically, he has no choice but to be an entrepreneur and own his own things because he has an extensive criminal record. 15 different cases of times that he's been arrested and had to go to trial. That is not somebody of elite stature, to be honest with you, okay? And also, so one of those times, allegedly, he was charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and trafficking of an illegal drug 4 grams or more, allegedly. That is a criminal, a jailbird, in and out. That is not somebody that you can speak so highly of because he's not that high on the totem pole, to be honest with you, right? Before you come on the internet attacking and degrading dark-skinned women, please make sure your house is well.
To the evil people who are in the comments like, oh, we're going to call her husband's businesses and get him messed up. I just want y'all to know me and my husband was cracking up at that. It's kind of embarrassing that y'all don't know what an investor is. He's his own boss. You can't mess him up. I can see if he was a real estate agent where agents have to build clientele, so their reputation kind of matters. But as a real estate investor, his face isn't even shown majority of the time. He's going to buy the house and it's going to sell regardless. Our dealership, once again, investor, the cars are going to sell regardless. Stocks, going to be sold regardless. What are you going to do? Call Manheim and tell them not to let us go bid on cars anymore? You're going to tell them to take away my dealership license? You're going to tell Robinhood to not let us trade anymore? Like, what can you actually do to an investor? Like, please tell me. Like, really, it's 2024 and a lot of you are so goofy and uneducated, you don't even know what passive income is.
Hi, Miss Cap Wife, Miss Cap Wife. Let's talk about it. One, why do you always have to film all of your videos in the exact same room? That's one question. 2, right? If you're trading stocks on Robinhood, that means you're poor. That's what it is. Poor. Remember, you said out of your own mouth, he's a millionaire. He's taking me on expensive vacations where you're spending $50,000 on a hotel room. If that was accurate, that means that you would be having money go to a hedge fund where they would be investing your money into the SP 500 index, which would be giving you an 8% interest back on the money that you invested, but you're not because you're investing on Robinhood. That means you're poor. That is what Robinhood was essentially set up for. Regular, common folk with not a lot of money, but willing to get into the market and play around. That is what it is. What we could do to an investor is expose the fact of how much of habitual repetitive behavior of your husband allegedly crimes for the last 15 different cases, and also as well having possession of narcotics that he wasn't supposed to have unless he had a prescription for them. We could tell people those things, and that in itself can warrant a lot of people not wanting to work with him in the future because he could possibly open them up to litigation because he might not be doing everything on the up and up. That's what we could do. I need you to understand this. Your house is not kept.
She talked about her experience on her TikTok, but it led to her further being harassed because the kept wife told her followers when she had a larger following that this woman was stalking her, but this woman ended up posting receipts that told a different story, and it involved the police.
Hi, my vibe, your vibe. Thank you so much for your concern, and you're absolutely right. I do have to be careful because that female is really a head case. I don't know how much of my live you caught, but majority of the people that were on my live, they saw how many times she mentioned my children's father's name. They saw how many times she mentioned our separation. They saw her mention my job. Do you know what I mean? They even saw her mention how she contacted him on Twitter, even though she didn't. And I feel really bad because I promise when I go to the boys' game tonight, I'm going to get my ass handed to me by him because this is one of the reasons, you know, when we were together, he told me to stay off of social media because of things like this. He's a very conservative, private guy. That is his professional page. So I don't know if she actually reached out to him. He said that she didn't, but, you know, I just feel bad that I brought it to his attention. But I'm glad that you guys were able to witness it. For the most part, when she comes at me with these pages, I know it's her, so I quickly block it. But I think I was just fed up today in my live. You did see me get upset. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to see what I've been dealing with for 2 years. You know, now she's putting up posts on her page claiming that I'm stalking her. And that's why I asked her to please tag me in that post to bring her followers to my page so they can see how many people have been affected by her craziness. But you're right, you have to be careful online because this woman who portrays to have a soft life really has a lot of self-hate. She hates being black. She's just crazy. I mean, like, she's freaking crazy. Like, she stalks my kids. Like, it's insane. And yeah, like, I'm a mama bear. When you mess with my family, I'm going to get upset. So I am no longer going to keep silent. I will call her out every time. And let me give you a quick recap of why she is my stalker. A while ago, about 2 years ago, I called her out for being one of those Dubai girls that likes shit on her back. You know, the girls that gets pooped on in Dubai for money. And from that point on, she's been stalking me and she's very obsessed. Not only does she stalk me, but she also harasses other women. But she's really obsessed with me for whatever reason. And that's fine, you know. But when you bring up my kids, when you bring up their father, then I can get ignorant just like her. But I know she's not about that life. You know, it's easy to be tough online, but in front of my face, she's not going to do anything. But I do feel like she's traumatized by her past. I couldn't imagine being a dancer and getting diarrhea, poop on my back for money. The amount of men that groped her, the amount of men that saw her naked, you know, and that's why I tell men, you have to be careful about the women that you get with because a lot of these women are very traumatized and unhealed and sick. And she is a perfect example of that. I'm not the only one that she harasses. It's clear. But the life that she portrays online is completely different. It's completely different. But I think that is the reason why she's so obsessed. But you're right. I do need to be careful online. But I promise, even though people have sent me multiple DMs about her eviction, her husband's Facebook page, where I could expose those things, I'm not even in this for that. I just want her to simply leave me alone. If she doesn't leave me alone, then I may have to move forward. But, you know, she just needs to leave me alone. Point blank, period. But yeah, you're right. And I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry for you guys seeing me angry because no, I don't want you to see me like that. But she really did make me mad. Like, who else wouldn't be mad? She was making fun of me being mad, but I wouldn't be human if I wasn't mad, considering some of the things that she was saying on my live. But I promise, if she comes on my live again, I'm just going to block her. Okay? We'll keep the live positive. Her TikTok name is The Kept Wife Life.
Thank you.
And the thing is, she's been arrested before. So this is, you know what I mean? Like, she's been...
Yeah. What's she been arrested before?
I don't know what she's been arrested for because it doesn't say. She lives in Tampa, Florida. But she has an inmate number and everything. And that's why I take it seriously.
And this has been ongoing for 2 years, is that correct?
Yes, for 2 years.
The kept wife. So there's a lot of controversy around her page right now because of the whole ghetto hood conversation and her 2 cents that she put in on it. She give her take about why she don't like ghetto and hood people. You can tell that she is definitely one of the black people who likes to tap dance for non-black people, and she thinks that she's one of the better blacks. Like you can definitely get that from her content, especially when she going into Van Cleef and begging them to service her. Right? Absolutely not. But anyway, so she gives her take. People dig up her history about her having battery charges and other mug shots. Now, I will be clear, she has already addressed the mug shots in the past because evidently she been beefing with some woman on TikTok for like the last couple months. And although she make it seem like it's only that woman that's harassing her, when I went down the rabbit hole of they mess, she just as diabolical and messy as the woman who she claims is harassing her. Neither one of them is no better than the other. That's the reason why they can't get along, because they too much alike. Anyway, so after she catches backlash about all of the mug shots and recent battery charge, she comes out to clear the air, tells us about the DV case against her husband was her making it up because she was upset with him. Then she tells us that the recent battery charge was her getting drunk, coming home and putting her hands on her husband. She say somebody called the police, but she don't say who did. Sound like a bunch of BS. She then goes on to say that these things don't make her ghetto and hood, because that's what people were saying about her. It was like, how ironic that you would say you don't like ghetto and hood people, but you out here catching battery charges and stuff like that and got all these mug shots. She says that's not ghetto. Actually, that's not for you to decide. See, that's the great thing about perception. You don't get to decide for people how they interpret the things that you do. So yes, if I see some woman beating on her husband, yeah, I'm going to think she's ghetto. I'm definitely not going to look at her and think, wow, that's a classy woman right there. I'm definitely not going to see no woman who sits and gets belligerent when she's drunk and she can't handle her liquor and think, you know what? That is a well put together sister right there. That's not what I'm going to think. That is not what I'm going to think. She is the perfect example of what I meant when I said it don't matter whether or not you from the hood. You can still have the mindset. And she got the mindset. I don't care how good she can dress it up, how much designer she can put on it. At the end of the day, you still have a hood mentality. You still don't know how to handle your liquor and you resort to violence anytime you can't get your way. Or you don't know how to manage your emotions without resorting to violence. It's giving Pookeisha. It's giving absolute Pookeisha. But because you make it look good, you can dress it up and make it look classy, you think it puts you in a different category? It don't. You ain't no different than some Pookeishas who stand on the corner and fight. You still fighting and still don't know how to handle your emotions and handle it like a grown woman. So it is what it is at the end of the day. That's why don't throw rocks when you live in a glass house.
Y'all, she make my blood boil. She said one thing I'll never be is a baby mama. It's someone's baby mama. Ever. What the fuck you mean ever? And you got 2 babies in Georgia. And you got an abandonment charge.
And here I was thinking I was the most ghetto. I be on TikTok cursing in my bonnet, got 2 baby daddies. I ain't never been married. I'm just, that whole time the messenger got a mugshot from last month. Used to be a stripper. Left her kids to go start a whole new life with a man and made some more kids, and she don't even claim the one she got. Really don't get no more ghetto than that. I'm scared of you, bitch. You want to sit up here? This how to live life when you live in a hard fucking life. Like, not only do you have one mugshot, several. You got several mugshots. I don't give a fuck how fucking ghetto it may seem that I am. I've been to jail. I ain't never wore that orange jumpsuit. I ain't never been convicted of a damn thing. Okay? If anything, I'm scared of you.
What makes this kept wife situation even sicker is that I remember the first video I saw of hers, and she was basically saying like, I really just have the softest life. I don't have to pay bills. My man pays everything. I barely even have to take care of my kids because if I want to go somewhere, I have a nanny. I have a night nurse. It's never been a problem with me. Like, when people try to complain about motherhood, I never can relate because motherhood's easy for me. It's so easy. It's easy for you because you're not taking care of your kids. You're a deadbeat mother.
When it comes to the kept wife thing, I'm going to say something that nobody else is talking about. 2 things can be true. Number 1, you can truly reinvent yourself in this lifetime. Whether it's losing weight, getting money, changing occupations, whatever it is, moving in social class, you can completely change your lifestyle and be a whole different person over and over again through this life. That's what her account proved to me. But second of all, if you're going to change your lifestyle and you're going to bring your life on social media, you better be humble. Because if not, these people on TikTok will find anything out about you. They talking about this lady got 2 children that she left in Georgia. They talking about she got a domestic violence case. I heard something about her harassing somebody, sending a bunch of pizzas to their house. Like, it's getting crazy. And it's debunking everything that she stands for in her new life. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. There's a few ideas in my mind of who I can be if I quantum jump into another lifetime. But one thing I'm not gonna do is come on this app and piss y'all off, because y'all do not play. Y'all are some FBI agents on here, okay? And the way y'all taking this lady down is something I have never seen before. Because I'm going to tell you right now, once I get on these GLP-1s and I get my money up, I don't want y'all coming for me, okay?
If you have not saw the movie The Strays, please go to Netflix and type in The Strays and watch that tonight. Because when I tell you she is the epitome of the main character, she is the epitome of the main character. I told y'all this was crazy. Like, there's so much wrong. First thing first, when you're like scrolling social media, have discernment, because I'm telling you, the first time I ran across her content is when she was sitting in a car. She had on a gray jacket and she had on like the fur or whatever. And she was talking about how like, oh, like I can't relate to like single mothers who struggle and I just have to pretend that I can, like having toddlers. I don't have to do all that. I've told my husband up front that I'm not going to do all that. I hired a chef to be cooking, like basically almost half the week. And she's talking about how she doesn't have to change diapers and just all of that, talking about like she made the right decision on who she laid down with. She planned her kids, how her kids only see her as a soft kept wife. Like it's the delusion for me. It's really, really the delusion for me. Like let's dive in. But when I seen that, I already knew something was off, because it's one thing if you're genuinely like educating people on this and different scenarios and all of that to help them. Like, hey, you don't have to do this. This is what helped me in my life, etc. Being a mother, being a wife, etc. Right? But the energy always to me came off as bragging. It always came off as not genuine. It's just a spiritual, energetic thing. If you're an empath, like you already know. Yeah, you can pick up on things. And I'm not the only one who has said that. There's been other people who have said the same thing when they ran across her content. Like something just don't seem right or genuine about that. Because I run across plenty of TikToks, YouTubes, Facebook stories all the time to where there's women who really do live that lifestyle, but they don't boast about it. They don't brag about it. That actually makes me smile, because I'm all for women of color living luxury lifestyles, because we don't see it enough and we don't have enough representation. So I love that. But when you're coming across as like, oh, well, you guys are beneath me because you don't have this, that's when it becomes like, okay, no, that energy is not right. It's just so many things wrong with it. And the simple fact that she start talking about, start saying colorist things, calling women burnt roaches, saying how automatically assuming all these women have multiple baby daddies, like how she don't want to be in the hood. It makes her uncomfortable, the ghetto, just like how a lot of people of color are uneducated. It's so much. I'm like, dang, like if you really live that lifestyle, again, why do you got to do all this? Why you got to say all that? But again, once they do that homework, they do that homework, honey. Okay. So the fact that you had an eviction, you abandoned your first 2 kids to go strip in a domestic violence relationship, which I'm pretty sure that he's still doing it. Look, which I'll get into in a minute. Putting your hands on your husband for not cooking you breakfast, which is the story you claimed that happened. Multiple mugshots, battery charges, belligerent when drinking, stalking and going off on women online, bringing up their job. It's giving ghetto. It's giving very much ghetto. More than half of that I ain't even dealt with. So it's very much giving ghetto. Okay. Being in a domestic violence relationship myself, and if you're more interested in my personal story, I have a divorce story on my page and I go into it a little bit on there. But basically, I know. And I was in a domestic violence relationship for many years. And I will tell you, whether you call the police or somebody else calls the police, They are not going to lock you up or give you any kind of charge unless there is proof there and you have said something. So if you have said something like, oh, she put her hands on me, and you have a mark there, they can lock her up for that. But if they just come there and they see marks, 9 times out of 10, because they don't know how you got that mark, they're not going to lock you up unless somebody say that you did that, because then that would be wrong of them to just take somebody and automatically assume that they caused the marks. You have to admit, that's why a lot of domestic violence exists, but there's no charges, because you have to say that this person harmed you. Okay, so for you to have that on your background, there has to be some type of proof that you harmed him. And the fact that your husband has multiple, like 15 charges on his background, felon, and he had possession of like substances, like what? Multiple domestic violence cases. What I believe is that he's still doing that. And she probably came up with the whole cooking breakfast story. I believe that he's still doing that because, again, me being in a domestic violence relationship, I can see the signs of it. And she's one of those women, all I visualize is somebody who has so much pain, who just sits in the mirror like, okay, well, let me just make myself up and make up the pain by like wearing expensive things, holding expensive things, making herself up, hiding the pain. That's all I can visualize when it comes to this woman. Like, usually men who are abusive, that does not change. And that usually stems from the childhood as well. So 9 times out of 10, this man is still abusive. The fact that he has that many domestic violence cases, unless he done went through some serious psychotherapy and some spiritual cleansing, some help, he's still going to be abusive. Because even those things don't guarantee that he's not going to be abusive. Okay? So I feel like he probably still is, and she's just there because of the materialism when it comes to this situation. And then the simple fact that when she says things like, oh, I can't relate, I made the right decision on who I laid down with, I planned my kids, just a bold-faced lie. Like, and I follow her before a lot of this stuff happened. So before all of this stuff happened, she barely ever spoke about her oldest 2 kids at all. But after all this stuff came out, then she all of a sudden want to bring them up in like 1 video or 2 videos. Like, the videos you posted of them were old videos, for 1. And for 2, why would they label you in their contact name is birth giver? That means they feel some kind of way about you and you haven't been there like you should be there for them to even label you that. Otherwise, it would say mom like anybody else's phone who has a good mother in their life. So and like, I agree with the dude on the commentary to where he's like, not everyone who lives in the hood is ghetto. And that's very true. Some people might go through a financial situation temporarily to where they have to live in the ghetto for a little bit, but they have goals of getting out. But sweetheart, with everything you have on your background, you more ghetto than the people who live in the ghetto. Like, I know people who live in the ghetto who's never been to jail, who has custody of their kids, who has not faced the stuff that you face, who hasn't let their kids to go strip. Like, it's beyond me, y'all. Like, literally, she is the definition of hiding from my past. My past effed on me, so my past S on me, so I'm gonna S on them. Like, that's pretty much what it's giving, y'all. So, and I also cannot forget the fact that they found her husband on LinkedIn and social media, whatever. And like the man said in the commentary, he does not show her off. Like, you would think that this man is a single man. But I can pick up on stuff like that, especially men who are abusive, because they tend to be selfish. So 9 times out of 10, especially with him being your trick, you married and got pregnant by your trick. If y'all have not seen my video on sugar babies going downhill, like, look at that. But basically, like, if people really wanted to live your lifestyle, then there's plenty of attractive strippers who I'm pretty sure could do the same thing with their tricks. Okay. But some people just want real, authentic love, not in abusive relationships. They just want authentic love, so they're probably not going to be with their trick. But I can already pick up on stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, because he got you at a strip club and paid for you with this lifestyle, you think that he don't have other options out there, other tricks that he's spending money on. You think that he obviously liked that lifestyle. So 9 times out of 10, especially from what people have been saying, He got other women he's spending money on too. It's the same thing, sweetheart. There's nothing different or unique about that situation. Like, he was your trick. You think he's not other women's trick? It's just so much delusion and so much self-hatred. You can clearly see it. Like, baby girl, please go heal. Do shadow work, inner work, go see a therapist. You definitely need to heal because you definitely got some demons from your past. 9 times out of 10, she be crying at night. Like, go face them demons and heal so you don't have to belittle everyone else, you know? So let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.